With the bigger cast of characters, it's going to be a lot more interesting than just the 4 main characters.
You never want it just to be on a small group of people.
You gotta have interesting side characters for them to interact with, otherwise it's kind of this even tone.
As much as we'd like to think that we're as engaging, that people can just watch the 4 of us, we need people who foil us, who challenge us, and just overall can play off of us really well.
You want a good amount of dialogue and interactions happening between everyone.
I think with the new characters, we're going to get a lot of nice diversity.
General Emma Sanders is a general who's been keeping her eye on mercenaries.net. She sees that we have signed up.
She is not an antagonist for our characters, but she definitely is opposed to what we're doing.
Realizes that we are not competent to do these jobs at all, so she tries to stop us.
But when we don't, she basically just ends up going along with it in the end.
She just sort of helps out the group occasionally.
Because she doesn't want us to get hurt in the end, because it would end up basically being a lot of paperwork for her.
Make sure that the team bust is not getting themselves into deep.
So there ends up being this bond between her and the group.
She's a bit of a guardian angel. We don't see her as that, we see her as our equal, and basically we ignore everything that she tells us.
I think it's pretty possible that the general will come back.
It'll actually be interesting with how each of the seasons she can possibly come in to play.
I would like to see her come back as more, because currently she's a very minor character, but I'd like to see her do more.
Kaylin is the assistant of our main bad guy.
She's literally doing it because she needs the money so she can stay in college and do her studies.
She's a lot more mellow and laid back than the rest of us are.
She's very disinterested in what's going on, only to the point where she's getting paid for her internship.
Overall, everything she does is for her own good.
She's probably the worst kind of assistant.
But in the end, she doesn't care enough to actually see it all the way through.
I could see potential for her character moving on to the next season.
And I personally think that she'll actually become a part of the bus team as well.
For me, I would love to see her continue on through the series. The villain is our very stereotypical, shadowy mystery man.
They have no clue who this villain is or what this villain even wants with them.
We keep messing up their plans every which way we go.
By unfortunate accidents and, misunderstandings, the team ends up interfering in a lot of his plans.
The villain's goal is, like any good villain, economic gain and world domination.
They decide that they need to get rid of us.
They're just like, nope, okay, we gotta kill these guys.
At some point, our characters are going to lock horns with this villain, and when we do, anything can happen.
I don't know how we would bring them into the other seasons, but we never know. They could somehow come back and start being a pain in the tuchus again.
I can see them being like the big bad of this season, whether or not they'd come back and make guest appearances and minor roles in future seasons. That's always a possibility, but we'll find out as the series progresses.